Hello, it's CJ Miller. I'm in my kitchen in Shreveport, Louisiana, across the Red River from beautiful Bossier City, Louisiana. And I'm here, and this is the second part of the video that I'm making for these beef medallions. These are round steak, but basically a thin cut of sirloin steak, but it's almost, you can use a round steak for this or any kind of cheaper cut of beef. And I've cut it. This was, I took these pieces, sliced them like this, pounded them out inside of a bag. I couldn't find my meat tenderizer, so I just used a hammer, like a medium-sized flat head of a hammer, inside of a bag. Pounded this out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 6 of these beef medallions. Let's see. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5. 1, 2, 3. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 5. 5 of these medallions. Okay. Now, I've had them in seasoned flour dredged, and I've had them sitting in it all day. Now, what I'm going to do is, first off, wash my hands because I've just touched this meat. Then I'm going to come over and sprinkle some fresh, unseasoned flour on the outside right before it goes into some hot oil. Oh, but yes, firstly, let me compare from that other video that most of the flour that was floating around the bottom of here, as I kind of tossed this throughout the day a couple of times, most of that flour has absorbed and grafted onto the surface of the beef. So we want that. We want that. And that's why this doesn't require an egg for binding. It really doesn't require milk or any of that. Some recipes call for that, but because we let this sit for a very long time, we're going to be able to get away with that. And I'm not saying it's going to be as crispy or crusty, or however the word you want to use, with the addition of milk or egg in that process of breading, but it's going to suffice. So one of the things that this does, adding the second bit of flour, either you moisten the beef, or if it's moist enough, as mine was, to get some more flour on. What that does is it kind of adds a little bit of a layer of crunchy crispiness. Sure, we want that to do well. That's really going to be determined how hot our oil is when we put this in. Really, that's going to determine that. But also what this does, it will help absorb moisture from the surface of the meat and that first coating, so that we can help avoid excessive splattering when we put this in our oil, which we're going to do right now. And I'm going to do just one of these at a time. I'll be back after the click. Okay, in a hot oil, you can just use a fork here. You want to be careful though, not to splash this oil. This oil will burn you, and it can cause severe burns. But look how beautiful that is. I'm kind of breaking my own cardinal rule by doing this recording while I'm flipping this. I should have just said, let me flip it after the click. I'll come back and show you. But this is good. This is good. And then you watch the coloring. If you could, it's like any kind of paneed pan frying, you adjust. If you're a little hot like I am, you turn it down. This is a traditional chicken fried steak, and I'm going to make with this some potatoes, and I'm going to use some of the brown gravy that I made in the video from the other night when I spent that time making that roux, and I had a really good dinner with those hamburger steaks. Well, I took some of the roux. I took some of the gravy that I made from that roux, that espinoli sauce, basically, it's a French term for it, and I saved it. What I wasn't going to use in the hamburger patties that I made, I saved. 2 days later in my fridge, 2 or 3 days later, it's still very good. And it's going to be very delicious. And this is, you can use a brown gravy or a white gravy. I'm using the brown gravy, it's what I got. Now, you know, why I'm showing this recipe, one of the reasons is because we are living in crazy economic times, right? For whatever reason, the government shut down while they figure out what's going on. So this is a way you can have a chicken fried steak or a southern fried steak. Some might call it a beef schnitzel if you're German. Wiener schnitzel is veal. A pork schnitzel is, you know, you'll see those a lot. But yeah, look at this. And this is crispy, baby. Crispy. No egg, no milk. How about that? Okay? And it's thin. They're going to cook quick. And, yay. What I want to do is I want to look at the underside, judge if I'm going to turn it yet, turn my heat up or down. You want to watch it. But I'm using a small skillet, and this is enough oil in here that I'm going to be able to fry all 6 of these pieces of meat. Yes, just stand right over this. Yes, stand right over this. It's going to brown up quick. We got a really, really good coating. A really, really good coating. I'll tell you something else. What's left on the bottom of the skillet after we get rid of the oil, we drain the oil, the drippings on the bottom of this, going to be a great starter. That's going to be your roux for the next time you want to make a gravy, if you want to take it and save it off to the side, because it's going to be basically oil and fried flour that's fried in that oil. So we would just pour off the excess oil and then save the pan scrapings, and there we go. Your starter, your roux, and you can make a wonderful sauce from that. Anything, any kind of gravy you want to start with. You can make it darker if it's not dark enough. Yay. Okay, so I'm going to give this one more turn because I put it in, let it sit, then I turn it. When it gets up, I turn it again, and then I'm going to turn it one more for good measure, just to make sure we got a good even color, and then I'm going to almost instantly, within about 10 or 20 seconds, remove it to the plate that I'm going to let it rest on. So, this is ready. This is ready. It's thin. When I cut into it, it's probably going to be close to well done. It's okay if it's not entirely well done, but there you go, a good chicken fried steak from this. No egg, okay? While this is warming up, in between the removing this, I'm going to take this back up to temperature. So I'm going to give it just a moment, raise the temperature back up. But also what I want to do is I want to get, you know, as soon as you put some beef in here, in this pan, it's going to come up to temperature. Now this one probably should be 2 pieces, but whatever. Let's get this up to temperature. I hope that was it. This will be a lesson for us. If it wasn't hot enough, and I feel like I could have let it get a little hotter, right, before I put this in there. I feel like maybe we'll lose a little coating on that back side. Hey, you know, gotta, everything's a learning process. We'll cross our fingers and hope it gets a good browning without losing too much. Want to let this sit in here. We'll know that it's ready to turn when we're paneed. Paneed, that's what we're doing, pan frying, paneed food. When we let it when we let the downside form a nice crust, a nice solid crust, so that it will move upon this non-stick skillet without actually sticking. If we try to move it before then, we're definitely going to lose the crust, because some of the crust is going to cling to the bottom and it's going to separate from that meat. So we want to wait. So if we can't shake this a little bit, see how that's floating around? We're probably doing okay with our, you know, we want our beef to be able to move around. Hang on. I'll give you a demonstration. Be careful But yeah, we want it to move around like that. And I'm going to give it another couple of seconds, 20, 30 seconds, and then I'll give it our first flip. I'll see you after the click. Because it's in two pieces, hanging on by a piece of fat, I'm gonna flip it off camera. I hope you don't mind. Hey, we got lucky on this one. I got lucky. I'm the one having to eat this mess. Okay, look. When I went to flip it, I grabbed it at the piece that was most connected, and I flipped it there with the tines of my fork. Okay? Same rule apply here. Same rule applies. Is that basically want to get this crust to form solidly. If I put it in and start shaking it about, moving it immediately, I'm going to lose the crust. Got to put this in, let it stay where it is for, a good 60 seconds. If you need to adjust your temperature, turn it up and down, I feel like right now it's at a good temperature, but I want to watch it. Turning kind of frequently, but this 4-turn method that I'm doing, let me show you the difference. That's light, and this is the pan that I'm resting on. See the difference in tone? Two flips. Flip it once, and then so basically what we're doing is we're browning it twice per piece on each side. Like put it in, brown it, flip it, brown it, flip it, and then one final flip. So 2 times on each side. Once to get it solid, and then once so that we can have a little control. Let me get in here and see what's going on. Let me put the pause on this. Now these have been pounded thin, by the way, so they're going to cook thicker than the steak would if we had left it. And it's also going to continue to cook on the plate as we remove it. Remember that. So if you feel like you're going to undercook it, if you do it this way, you probably won't. If they're this thin, you probably won't undercook it because they're going to continue to cook once we remove it internally. This crust holds some heat inside. Plus, I'm talking too long. Let me pause the video and flip this. Okay? Want to maybe get your temperature down a little lower. We don't want this going to brown too fast. We don't want it to brown too fast. The reason why is because this particular cut of beef, these should be 2 medallions, and once I remove them, if I wanted to serve them, I could serve them as 2 separate medallions. But whatever, right? Whoever gets it, they're going to cut it anyway. It's going to be me, whoever gets it. I'm the one that's going to get it. It's all for me, baby. Okay, so want to watch this though, and now I'm going to turn the temperature down a little bit, specifically on this second browning, because I don't want it to get too dark. I don't want to go through all this effort, right, all day long, marinating meat in that seasoned flour, letting it rest to perfectly bind so that I can burn up my meat. I don't want to do that. Okay, so let's give this its final flip. And, well, let's count. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And ready. Watch this. You're going to be amazed. I'm just going to give it the... No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I am just kidding. I would never attempt that. Actually, I'm playing around too much. I wouldn't have attempted that on a... fire, because I probably would have spilled the oil on the fire. I know me. But no, let me pause this. Don't play with your grease like I just did. I'm being so bad tonight. I literally just turned this. I don't know. Did I pause the video or did I just sit it down? I don't know. But anyway, about a minute and 20 seconds and then the first turn, right? And I'll tell you something. I'm going to let it sit for about another 20 minutes, a minute and 20 seconds or whatever. 20 minutes. You let this fry for 20 minutes, you'll burn it up. But I'll tell you something. If you do this and you get your light little crust on it, if you don't tell the healthy food police, I'll tell you my little tip. You can get the breading on here kind of firm like this, and then if you want to, you could pop it in the microwave to finish it off in the microwave. Just keep it covered in the microwave because this is, there may still be oil if it's recently coming out of the pan and you decide to microwave it to keep your crust in pristine color, but you want you want it to be more well done. But anyway, I'm about to give it this second round of turning. I'm going to turn it once for this side, and then I'm going to turn it back over. Remember, two times in the grease on each side. Be gentle with that turning. With a pan like this, you can use the outer rim to help give you that turn if you're not on a gas stove. If you're on a gas stove, you want to keep all of the action inside of the skillet, and you don't want to take the chance. And you really want to keep this maybe kind of covered too, if you can help it. But for sure, take care when you're in the kitchen, because you know what? I do love you, and I don't want you to get hurt. And I love me. I don't want me to get hurt. But yeah, I've got 2 more medallions. What do I have? Yeah, I got 2 more. These are kind of big steaks, so they're probably going to go one at a time. At this point, you can skip ahead until we do the tasting if you want, because you've seen it. But I'm going to continue to video as I do these other couple of pieces, just for my own amusement, right? Just to be fair, I did decide to put these last 2 medallions in simultaneously. I just want to get them done. I'm ready to eat. If I want to have perfect control, I would just do 1 medallion at a time. But I've actually been successful with this plate of beef medallions. And so I feel like, hey, I've got a handle on how this oil is reacting today. In the temperature where it is, and I feel like, I could probably get about 3 rounds, 3, maybe 4 rounds of, 1, 2, 3, this would be the 4th round, before it breaks down and gets a little bit too cooked. You know what I mean? You don't want to use oil that's too old. In home cooking, when you're frying something, you're not in a professional kitchen. You don't have this big, huge, deep, giant fryolator. You have a stovetop. So, it's, economic. You just kind of watch your oil temperature, it's trickier to get a consistent color on your fried meats, your breaded meats, or any of your meats or your food, but if you're doing oil, it's consistent. It's hard to be consistent. So especially when you're doing like large batches, so you have like some chicken that may come out darker than others, and that's just because of the oil. The quality of it will decline as the cooking process goes on. So for this paneed thing, it's a little bit easier to gauge because you're actually watching it. And it's time for me to flip this, give it a first flip. Look at that beautiful color. Now this piece here is good. What you're going to give, if you have people and you want someone that wants a little bit a medium to a rare, this is the one you're going to work with because it came out a little thin, a little thicker. When I beat it down, that's that one I was beating in the first video, and I said I could have beat it down a little flatter, but I didn't because I was just in a hurry to move on and get this done. Patience would have had me beat that out thinner. I could have got this thin enough to cover the whole bottom of this skillet probably, as thick of a piece as it is. But hey, what the hell? Okay, now all I'm really going to do as a side dish, though, I've got some store-bought instant potatoes, a pack of instant potatoes I'm going to put in the water. The secret behind the instant potatoes, you put it in the hot water and you let it, you don't serve it immediately, you give it time for the water to expand into potato flakes. That's not a big secret, but if you're a first-time cooker and you're using potato flakes, and maybe you think, oh my God, it's too thin and everything, maybe you'll have a tendency to add more potato flakes or something if you're using, a big box of potato flakes or something. And really the only thing you would need to do is give it a good little stir and then let it sit and let the water absorb into the potato flake or the milk, or we'll get a combination of milk and water, whatever you're using. The brand I'm using doesn't require milk to be added because there's powdered milk in the blend. But it is time to give these their second turning. Okay, so I turn these and they're a little bit lighter on this side. No big deal. A little bit darker on the other side, lighter on this side. What I'm going to do is, after about 30, 40 seconds, flip this around and I'll let it sit in the oil a little bit longer and it'll darken up. We're aiming for a little consistency of color, even though it's not going to be perfect. Life isn't perfect. Why should our paneed beef medallion, what we call southern fried steak or chicken fried steak, beef schnitzel, what the Germans might call it. It's probably got a zillion recipes and a zillion different ways depending upon what you do with it. Beef parmesan, if you make it thin enough and you put it over pasta with marinara sauce and cheese, who's to say? Not me. I've actually seen this beef steak, usually a tenderloin, cut into medallions and served with béarnaise sauce. Sometimes breaded, sometimes not. Béarnaise is a hollandaise sauce with a little bit of something extra, a little bit of white wine with some tarragon. But of course, if you're like me and you don't like to drink alcohol, you could use just a splash of white vinegar or lemon. Yeah, we use lemon to chemically cook, or a little twist of vinegar in your hollandaise sauce anyway. But yeah, whatever. I'm not making a hollandaise sauce. You know what I like to do with the hollandaise sauce? I like to really be able to add it a drizzle at a time, which is basically clarified butter, drizzling it into, and it's cooled, clarified butter, completely clarified and then cooled, but still liquid. You don't want to put hot butter in egg yolk. But then to be able to whisk it in a little at a time. And you want to do it consistently. So that's a good buddy recipe. If you're in the kitchen with someone, it's a good, you want to do something as a team, you guys want to cook together, get in there and do that hollandaise sauce as a team. One person stirring the whisk and one person drizzling in the butter. What a fun activity. Okay, so this is about ready to remove from the oil. And of course, it is going to sit on the plate and continue to cook internally as it rests. Okay, so here I've placed these on a stool just to show you how very easy it is to get a consistent. Actually, the very first one came out a little darker than all the rest of them. But as this rests, and I'm going to take it and put it on the counter. I just have it sitting on this stool to show you the ease of this. How wonderful this looks, okay? Brown gravy with this, with that packet of potatoes. It's only going to take about 5 or 6 minutes. I'm going to stir the potatoes. Yes, I'm going to put a little bit of butter in them because what the hell. And then, I'm really going to have to discipline myself after Halloween. That's only Friday, so I'll just be moderate and loose and light with myself. After Halloween, my ass is really going back on a diet, bro.